Captain James Cook was born on October 27, 1728, in the village of Marton, Yorkshire, England. He was the second of 8 children born to James Cook and Grace Pace. Cook grew up in a farming family and attended a local school in Great Ayton, where he received a basic education. At the age of 17, Cook was apprenticed to a local shopkeeper in the town of Staithes. During his apprenticeship, Cook learned basic navigation and seamanship from the local fishermen who sailed out of Staithes. After completing his apprenticeship, Cook moved to Whitby and joined the Merchant Navy, where he gained further experience in navigation and seamanship. In 1755, Cook joined the Royal Navy as an able seaman and served in the 7 Years' War, which was fought between Britain and France. Cook quickly rose through the ranks and was promoted to master's mate, a position responsible for navigation and the supervision of the ship's crew. He served on several ships in the Royal Navy, including the HMS Eagle and the HMS Pembroke. In 1759, Cook was appointed to the HMS Northumberland, which was sent to North America to support the British invasion of Quebec. Cook distinguished himself during the campaign and was promoted to lieutenant. He also gained a reputation as a skilled navigator and cartographer, producing detailed maps of the St. Lawrence River and the coast of Newfoundland. In 1763, Cook was appointed to the HMS Grenville, which was tasked with surveying the coast of Newfoundland. Cook's work on the Grenville earned him a reputation as one of the Royal Navy's most skilled navigators and surveyors. Cook was then commissioned by the Royal Society and the British Admiralty to observe the transit of Venus across the Sun and to search for the fabled southern continent. Cook sailed on the HMS Endeavour, a converted coal ship, and he was accompanied by a crew of 94 sailors and scientists, including botanist Joseph Banks. The voyage began in August 1768 and took Cook and his crew across the Atlantic and around the southern tip of South America. They then sailed across the Pacific, stopping at Tahiti to observe the transit of Venus in June 1769. After leaving Tahiti, Cook continued westward and became the first European to make contact with the eastern coast of Australia in April 1770. He spent several months mapping and exploring the coast of Australia before returning to England in July 1771. The first voyage was a great success, with Cook and his crew making important scientific discoveries and producing detailed maps and charts of the regions they visited. They also made contact with many indigenous peoples and recorded detailed observations of their cultures, customs, and languages. Cook's second voyage was again commissioned by the Royal Society and the Admiralty, this time to search for the hypothetical Terra Australis Incognita, unknown southern land. Cook sailed on the HMS Resolution, accompanied by the HMS Adventure, and he was again accompanied by Joseph Banks and a team of scientists and artists. The voyage began in July 1772 and took Cook and his crew southward, past the Antarctic Circle, where they encountered icebergs and harsh weather conditions. They then sailed westward, stopping at several islands in the South Pacific, including Easter Island and the Society Islands. They also visited New Zealand, where they produced detailed maps of the coastlines and made contact with the indigenous Maori people. After leaving New Zealand, Cook sailed westward and made contact with the indigenous people of Tonga and Fiji. He then sailed northward and became the first European to visit the Hawaiian Islands in January 1778. The second voyage ended in July 1775, when Cook returned to England with detailed maps and charts of the South Pacific, and many new discoveries about the region's geography, flora, fauna, and people. Cook's third and final voyage was commissioned by the Admiralty to search for the Northwest Passage, a sea route through the Arctic that would connect the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Cook sailed on the HMS Resolution, accompanied by the HMS Discovery and a crew of 218 sailors, including naturalist Johann Reinhold Forster and his son Georg. The voyage began in July 1776 and took Cook and his crew to the North Pacific, where they explored the coastlines of Alaska and British Columbia. They then sailed westward, crossing the Bering Strait and making contact with the indigenous peoples of Siberia and Kamchatka. After leaving Asia, Cook sailed southward and explored the Hawaiian Islands in greater detail. The voyage took a tragic turn when Cook was killed during a violent confrontation with the indigenous people of Hawaii in February 1779. His second-in-command, Charles Clark, took over the expedition and continued to explore the North Pacific before returning to England in October 1780. Cook's third voyage was significant for its discoveries in the North Pacific and for its expansion. Cook's legacy includes exploration and discovery of new territories, scientific inquiry and discoveries, promotion of good relations with indigenous peoples, and contributions to naval and maritime innovation. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this presentation, please like and share the video, and leave a comment below. If you would like to see more content like this, please subscribe to the channel. Your support is deeply appreciated.